Today we're diving straight into the high-octane world of Formula One, and it's all about the recent twists and turns at the 2024 Australian Grand Prix. Now, if you've been keeping up with the headlines, you'd know that the Mercedes F1 team, a name synonymous with dominance and excellence, is currently facing some major turbulence. Shockingly, both their star drivers, Lewis Hamilton and George Russell, were forced to retire during the race. This unexpected turn of events has left many questioning. Are we witnessing the downfall of a titan? Has Mercedes transitioned from a title contender to just another midfield team? Buckle up, because today we're dissecting the challenges Mercedes is grappling with and exploring what this means for the rest of the F1 season. Let's get into it. In previous years, the Silver Arrows were the dominant team in Formula One, winning 8 Constructors' Championships in a row from 2014 to 2021. However, with the new regulations introduced in 2022, they have been unable to match the speed of Red Bull and Ferrari. As a result, the Silver Arrows will be eager for improved performances in the upcoming races. At the 2024 Australian Grand Prix, Lewis Hamilton experienced a power unit failure during lap 17 of the race. There was immense pressure on George Russell to perform well for the team and score some points. To his credit, he did everything he could to achieve the best possible result. However, on the final lap, Russell reacted to one of Fernando Alonso's unusual braking maneuvers, which resulted in him crashing out of the race. An investigation by the FIA after the race revealed that Alonso had lifted off the accelerator sooner than necessary. Since Russell was very close behind him at that point, he did not have sufficient time to react properly. As a result, he avoided Alonso but lost control of his car and crashed in the process. Following the investigation, Alonso received a 20-second time penalty, dropping him from 5th to 8th place. However, this did not change the fate of Mercedes. As of now, Mercedes are 71 points behind the Constructors' Championship leader Red Bull. With McLaren scoring huge points in the recent race, they have pushed the Silver Arrows to P4 in standings. And by the looks of it, if there is one more bad race for Mercedes, they will lose that spot as well to their customer team Aston Martin. In F1, losing to a customer team is one of the worst things that could happen to any team. Toto Wolff, who is at the helm of the Mercedes team as team principal, have seen the highs of their dominance from 2014 and is now witnessing the lows of their run in the sport. He was asked after the race in an interview about what the team is feeling and what he is looking forward to. He stated, "As a corner of this business, I need to be sure that my contribution is positive and creative," Wolff said. "I would be the first one to say, if someone has a better idea, tell me, because I'm interested in turning this team around as quickly as possible. And I'll happily give my input and see what that would be or who that could be. We have a physics problem, not a philosophical or organizational problem. We haven't swallowed a dumb pill since 2021. It's just we don't understand some of the behaviors of the car that in the past we would have always understood." Wolff's circumstance as both team principal and part owner of 33% of the team makes his role unlike that of a football club manager who could be fired and then hired by another team or decide to move on. At 52 years old, the Austrian's combined roles as boss and shareholder of the F1 team put him in a distinctive position compared to other current leaders in the sport. He further stated, "I look myself in the mirror every single day about everything I do, and if I believe that I should ask the manager question or the trainer question, I think it's a fair question. But it's not what I feel at the moment that I should do." He added, "The big difference is it's not like the manager's question in terms of, this is my job, I'll stop the job and then somebody else is doing the job and I'll go to Chelsea or to Liverpool or over to Ferrari. I haven't got that choice, which is also unfortunate. I'm not a contractor or employee that says, I've had enough of this. My hamster wheel keeps spinning and I can't jump out." Wolff also admitted that the team's continued struggles have left him wanting to punch himself in the nose. Even after changing the entire concept, their struggles with the car still remain to this day. With the ground effect era being introduced in the 2022 season, there is some aspect of it that the engineers in the Brackley team just can't seem to understand or get a good grasp of. Also, they can't blame the zero-pod concept that they adopted early on. We have now seen how Red Bull's RB20 adopted that concept with a somewhat different approach, but at the end of the day, they did prove that Mercedes' vertical inlet approach was a game changer, and it does work. However, the Silver Arrow seems like they have lost their technical prowess that they had during their dominant seasons, given the Melbourne display during which Mercedes massively lacked pace. The Mercedes motorsport boss said, "There were times in the race where we massively lacked pace. And then there were times at the end when you compare like for like, we were doing okay. Still not where we want to be. But you could see in the second stint, Fernando on the medium tire, we couldn't come anywhere close. The lap times looked like a second off the McLarens. Then suddenly the last stint, when we went for it, not worrying too much, the lap times were competitive. Not a match for Sainz, but it was much better." Now the question remains, will the downtrend in their performance continue? Or will they be able to make a comeback in Japan? Now to add salt to the wound, Lewis Hamilton, the 7-time world champion and their star driver, also signed a deal with Ferrari from 2025 onwards. This just further confirms that he has lost faith in the team's performance and wants to seek opportunity elsewhere. So the task for the Silver Arrows is not only to make a car that is competitive enough to battle the likes of Ferrari, Aston Martin, and McLaren, but also sign a driver for the next season. One of the hottest choices that Wolff might be aiming for is Carlos Sainz. In the Australian GP, Verstappen lost the lead to Sainz midway around the second lap and was out just 2 laps later with his right rear brake on fire. Sainz fended off the rest of the drivers to secure the 3rd win of his career. Sainz's victory prevented Verstappen from matching the all-time record he set last year of 10 consecutive wins, a run that started after Sainz's triumph in Singapore last September when he became the only non-Red Bull driver to win a race in 2023. The 29-year-old Spaniard is now the only man to beat Red Bull to a Grand Prix victory since Mercedes' George Russell won in Brazil on the 13th of November 2022, a quite extraordinary statistic. After Ferrari signed Hamilton, Sainz has no seat as of now and is looking for a new team. Given his fabulous performance, many on the grid are willing to sign him up, but it's up to him where he wants to go. Mercedes could be an option for him, but he might want to consider and see if they can develop a car that is good enough to fight at the front of the grid. Another choice for Carlos is Red Bull, but again it depends on how well Sergio Perez does this season, and will Christian Horner will aim to replace Perez with Sainz. Finally, Sainz could move to Kicksauber F1 team, which will be rebranded to Audi F1 team in 2026 as the German manufacturer takes full control of the team. But with the state of their team, it will take a massive turnaround for them to be able to fight at the front with Red Bull in 2025 or 2026. So what do you think? Will Mercedes make a comeback late in this season, or will they be defeated by Aston Martin and probably other midfield teams? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below and make sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on the bell icon to never miss another upload from us. See you at the finish line.